In this live stream, I'm going to show you why design mockups are so important for graphic designers, along with the do's and don'ts of using them. If you're new, hi, I'm Bradley, the CEO, owner, and head designer of the graphic design marketing firm BDesign. And the mission of this channel is to help you, the new designers of the world, to build your influence and impact in the graphic design world faster, so you can build a successful company faster. Let's dive right into the lesson. As graphic designers, we have to present sooner or later our projects to our clients. We work for them, after all. Sometimes the presentation is easier, sometimes not so much. Anyways, we always have to convince them that our proposal really fits their needs. All the requirements are satisfied. The proposal includes everything they asked us in the brief, so they can give us their approval. Sometimes, well, in most cases, the client is not an expert in graphic design or in communication design. In such cases, we have to avoid they start asking us to make changes based on what they like or don't like. Talking about graphic design, a lot of designers usually present their projects as flat design, a PDF, a JPEG, or whatever. But they don't usually put their design into context. Is this the best way to present our proposals to the clients? We don't think so. As they say, customers is always right, even if we don't agree with that. We must admit that the final decision is up to the client anyways. Sometimes when we present a proposal, the way we present is more important than what we present. If we prepare and use a good mock-up, even a poor design seems nicer than it really is. Crazy? Not that much. Obviously, we don't say that we can design and present projects based on poor ideas, but mock-ups can really help us to succeed in our presentation to the clients. Using a mock-up, our proposal can be more impressive, and most important, our clients can better understand the final result. This is exactly why we'd better use mock-ups when we present our ideas to the client. Mock-ups. What's that? In manufacturing and design, a mock-up or mock-up is a scale or full-size model of a design or device used for teaching, demonstration, design evolution, promotion, and other purposes. When we are working on graphic design projects, we could need a mock-up on different occasions. Think about a web project, for instance. How can we show our client the way the website UI works on different devices and screens? We can show the project on our Mac or PC using the web browser at different widths. Or we can use different devices for sure. And this is the way to go. We need interaction. But we can show our project using mockups too. They are not interactive tools, but they let the client see how the final UI will be into real context. And after all, we can use that mockup to show the project in our portfolio too. Way better than just showing flat JPEG images. Or think about a packaging project. It's really difficult to print the project on a paper to build a 3D mockup. It's completely unfeasible that we are talking about glass bottles or something like that. Or just to make a final example, think about print design projects. We can't print everything for sure. Just to show the proposal to the client. We can't print in offset or digital offset, but it's not so easy to print everything with our Office inkjet printer too. And what about a 50 by 70 centimeter poster? Or a magazine? Or a billboard? In these cases, we can use flat design proposals, PDF, for instance, to show the global project. But using mockups can add some advantages since the client better understands the final result. Presenting a digital mockup is really the way to go, since in these cases, using only a flat design wouldn't be enough. It's too difficult for the client to understand the final result simply looking at a flat graphic file, completely out of context. Professional or nothing. If we want to use a mockup to show our project to the client, we can basically choose between three ways. We can try to design the mockup by ourselves, or we can use freepik.com, or we can use yellowimages.com, which BDesign has done a video that explains how to use and find mockups along with the detailed explanation of the two websites. I'll link to that video down in the description, so go check that out. Trying to design a mockup from scratch is really time consuming. The mockup should add some value to our presentation, not the contrary. So we need time to achieve a professional result, and we can't use shortcuts. It's easier than if we go with already existing mockups. And we have to choose well-designed and professional ones. They will really help with our presentations adding value, and really important aspect, simplifying and speeding up our work. Let's now take a look at the do's and don'ts of using design mockups. Mockups can be great. They make your design look more professional and help the client get an idea of the design, of what the design can look like in real world context. There are hundreds of resources out there to help you use or create your own. And that's for a reason they work. But there's a dark side to the mockup. Designers can really rely too much on using a nice mockup to sell a subpar design, or conversely, do a poor job creating the mockup, which distracts the client from the real design or misleading them into thinking they're going to receive deliverables that they aren't. Here are the do's and don'ts you need to know to enhance your best designs with a mockup. Number 1, create your design in the correct format. There's one thing we want you to learn from this live stream. It's the importance of creating your design in the format that is required for the handover first. Then using a mockup as an assistant to show it off. Whether you're creating a mockup from scratch or using one legally downloaded off of the web, it's in all likelihood going to be in raster format. So it follows that whatever design you've created and want to insert into the mockup is raster as well. Don't be fooled. Though your mockup can be in rasters, otherwise known as pixels, your design might have to be vectorized. A logo is a great example. You are required to submit a logo design in vector format to your clients. Number 2, know how to convert a vector to a raster file. Don't know how to convert a vector to a raster? It's painlessly easy. Here's how to do it in Adobe Illustrator. Go to File, Export, then select the file format. It's much easier to convert a vector file to a raster file than it is a raster into a vector. To learn how to use Adobe Illustrator's Live Trace to do so. But take our advice and do yourself a favor. Work in Vector, which is in Illustrator, first. And create your designs in Illustrator before you move to Photoshop, which is raster. It'll save you time and the client stress. Number 3, don't only show the mockup. Mockups are great, but your client is going to need to see what the actual file is going to look like. That's why so many designers do these longer presentation style mockups. It's helpful to show, say, a design label, both on and off the container. It will cover or a logo on different colored and textured backgrounds. The client can look at it from different angles in order to see what kind of changes they want to make. Number 4, be clear with your client. Be very transparent about what you can and cannot produce for your client in a contest. Be specific. If you're working in a logo contest and you're using a mockup to show what a business card and stationery would look like, you can not offer those for free in a logo contest. That's why you can make a comment with your submission to explain your design to the client. Be clear what constitutes the mockup and what is the design. If the client inquiries into your work, you can negotiate with them for additional deliverables after the completion of the contest. Number 5, don't take shortcuts. If you don't want to create your own mockups, that's fine. There are plenty of legal resources online, which I've mentioned, to help you make quick examples of the work. But in any site you choose, even if you see the word free floating around, make sure that you check the licensing and terms of use. Number 6, curate your mockups. The entire point of a mockup is to make your design look better, to show off what it would look like in a real life situation. So if you start going too overboard with examples, using a cluttered background, or ignoring the overarching design style that the company is looking for, then you're going to do the opposite of what you're trying to do. Pick the right way to tell your branding story. Now, let me show you the different kinds of mockups you can find out there. First is signage mockups. Signage is a great tool to use. If you know that your client is going to need their logo plastered up in all sorts of places, a logo for a sports team or a venue is the perfect example for this. That logo is going to have to be huge, and it's going to be put up on and in buildings, on apparel, on beverage and food holders, and possibly even in tattoo form. You never know. While you don't need to show absolutely every context the logo could be taken in, select one or two of the most likely and impressive. Choose one or two to impress your client with. Then there's packaging and labels. Label design is one of those we see most frequently in mocked up form, as the difference between a flat label and a label plastered to a 3D object can look very different. One tip we have for label design is to submit the design before the contest is awarded, both in mocked up and in an original format. Make sure the CH knows that it's going to look like when you deliver it in the handover, so they don't get confused when they receive a 2D design that looks different from the 3D mockup you entered into the contest. Another mockup format is logos. A lot of focus placed on the 3D mockups, but simply formatting for submitting a logo design can make a huge difference. Take the example here. Not only does the designer show off the logo in multiple possible colors combinations, but also against a potential branding image. It's what a logo could look like on a company's website or in their advertising, and it's all about the selection of the photo. We don't know about you, but after seeing this super colored tattoo artisan, we want to check out this brand. Websites and apps, website and app designs are a whole different animal to try and show off, as so often there is a scrolling involved. A larger design will only be particularly displayed on a screen at any given time. Similarly to the label design, it's important here to both show the design and its entirety and a mock-up of what the most important parts will look like on a screen. And then there's book covers. Book covers can be difficult to imagine when you're laid flat out, similarly to packaging designs. Mockups are an excellent way for authors to better understand how the front cover, and back cover and spine all works together. Another mockup format is business cards and stationery. This design is for a brand identity package, so it's got even more going for it than a traditional stationery contest, but shows a whole assortment of ways to mock up a simple design in different contexts. We love it when designers create a brand identity that can be expressed in different ways, extracting a symbol and using that on its own, or using it as part of the text-based logo. Well, that's it for this live stream. That is the reasons why graphic designers should always use design mockups. If you got value from this live stream, be sure to subscribe to the channel and smash that like button. And see you next week for a new live stream. Bye.